right, it says we are live. Good evening and happy Monday. Welcome, hackers. I think we are streaming today on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you're watching this live from YouTube or from LinkedIn, please go and invite some friends to come join us. Tonight, we are giving a sneak peek preview into something that the 5 Minute Career Hack team is extremely excited about. And that is our workshop, 3 days of live sessions called Burn the Rule Book Career Transformation Lab. And I'm so excited because one of our speakers for that night has joined me live here on YouTube and LinkedIn to talk about a little bit about her topic, but specifically, we're going to be talking about pivoting without losing momentum. Pivoting in a way that you don't have to start from scratch or go back to the beginning of your education and get a whole entirely new degree just to make that pivot. So, welcome to the podcast, Kay LaFleur Anders, also known as Kiosha. Welcome in.
Thank you, Candace.
Yes, you laugh because I said your name also known as Kiosha. So just
Yeah.
tell us real quick just a little bit about yourself, who you are, and why do the people need to come see you at Burn the Rule Book?
So my name is Kiosha LaFleur Anders. Everybody is welcome to call me Kay. There's a whole story between the two. That's why we're laughing. I am the CEO and founder of Chestnut Publishing House and Coffee Milk Media, and also the podcast host of Reset with Kay. And I've been doing the publishing thing for a while, but my passion is wellness, and I look forward to adding that to Burn the Rule Book, which is why y'all should come, right? Not just to listen to me, but this lineup really is transformational, and I just cannot wait to sit in on everybody's session.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the same thing. So we got to give them the goods while they are here tonight. So here's my first question for you. How can someone successfully pivot into a new role or industry without starting from scratch?
The first thing I think that we all should do, I did it. I had to really think back to when I made the pivot in my career because pivots will challenge your mindset. And in a lot of ways, it will expose your mindset. Like, what do you really think about your abilities, your value add, like all of those things, right? I think one of the things that you can do to make that pivot successfully is to leverage what you already know. I think we look outside of, especially if we're trying to move into a career in a different industry. So, for example, I went from tech to publishing, right? But I didn't realize at the very beginning, I was thinking, oh my God, they're so different. I don't know what I'm actually bringing from tech to publishing because they're different industries. But I had to really look at my strengths. Okay, I was a program manager at Dell. So, what were my strengths in that role? With managing projects, with vendor management, all of those things. Okay, so I translate that over, transfer those skills over to publishing. I have to deal with multiple, author projects, multiple people, also contractors and different collaborators. So I think the very first thing that you do is leverage what you know, and then also take a look at identifying, translating those skills over, right? Those transferable skills, whether they're soft skills like communication or teamwork. You're a great team player. Look at where you are right now and leverage what you know.
I love that. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be hard when it's really very simple. So thank you for breaking that down for us. And I think, what you shared was very relevant. And what I heard was like being strategic and repositioning your skills in the workplace. And
Mm-hmm.
for 5 Minute Career Hack and the Burner Rule Book Career Transformation Lab, we're going to be talking about preparation, purpose, and position, right? So being able to reposition those skills so that it shows that you are still relevant to whatever industry you decide to break the walls down in, then you have to take inventory of what you already know. How do you leverage it, right? So thank you for sharing that because we know that many people who are going to be at the career Transformation Lab, but more importantly, some research from LinkedIn showed that 47% of people are actually ready to make a shift, but they feel like they're going to lose momentum if they start over, right? And that's that
Mm,
fear of losing momentum and that fear of uncertainty. Like that'll hold you back from going to the next dream job that could get, propel you, could double your salary, right? But we're scared that we're going to lose
exactly.
momentum. So what advice would you give to someone who's like really worried about that? Man, I've been going like for you example, you had this tech career, you like thriving, and you're like, and I'm about to go do something completely different. Am I going to be able to keep going? Or what does the pause need to look like so that when I do pick up in a shorter time frame, I can regain momentum quickly?
I think perception is reality, right? I used to hear that a whole lot working
Mm-hmm.
in corporate America with all the other very corporate words and phrases that we always talk about. But it's true. I would challenge people to take a look at where you are right now. And if in your just in your mindset is everything. If you think about it and perceive your situation as think about the different puzzle pieces, right? So we're talking about strategically repositioning. So you have these puzzle pieces and think about the fact that now you're shifting things around, right? Think about your skills and all the experience that you have being those puzzle pieces. The only thing that you're doing, and not saying the only thing is if it's not a something that you have to work at, because first it starts in your thinking, but you're shifting those pieces around to create a new picture, right? Just taking what you have and going, okay, so how can I take that and move that over here? You can still keep moving. And one of the things I love to say, because I had to say it to myself, is pivoting does not mean that you're stopping. You can still have momentum, even if you have to slow down a bit, just to take a look at everything around you and go, okay, so that I'm not rushing and being impulsive with my decisions. I really want to be intentional about this career move. I want to be like, what does this look like? Even where you're applying, if you're applying for a job, right? What's sustainable? What industry is sustain? Like all of those things. If you take a moment and just kind of step back, there is a way for you to still have momentum and move forward without being all over the place. And if you just think about it as things are shifting, things are still moving. You're just changing what they look like. So the picture is changing, but the pieces are still relevant. Your skills and your experience, their experiences, they are still relevant. You're just changing what it looks like. And in this pivot, you have an opportunity to really change the narrative and make it look like what you want it to look like now. Maybe you got in a career before because, you got a degree in something that was just popular to get a degree in, but you didn't really want to do that. Here's a great opportunity for you to shift those things around and really get into something that you want to and taking those skills and experiences that you've learned and implementing them there.
Wow, what a great visual. The things that we learn when we are younger that we can apply in life today is
Yeah.
phenomenal. Such a great illustration you shared there. And
Thank you.
it, I think it's so true. Like what we're doing, career pivots, like it's sort of like a puzzle, right? Because
Yeah.
especially when you're, moving those transferable skills around and when you are taking inventory of all the pieces that you actually have, at the end of the day, the finished product, which is all those pieces together, like that's the transformation, right? I
Mm-hmm.
love the way you talked about it because it reminded me of that puzzle that that you have. I have one downstairs on my table with a few missing pieces, right? A puzzle with a
Yeah.
few missing pieces, and I don't care how many times that I sweep up under the couch, I can't find these missing pieces. And so
Yeah.
my therapist walked me through this activity because my brain is such a problem solving maze every day. And I'm always like, I have high inquiry in my brain, right? So she's like, well, why do you need to find the missing pieces? You can create your own piece. You know what the form needs to look like
Mm.
at the end, but just draw your own piece that goes in that puzzle. And there you go. You can finish the story. So that's sometimes too what transformation looks like is not only
Yeah.
shifting the pieces, but even if you can't find those pieces, you first got to take inventory to see what you're missing before you even create that missing piece that is actually causing you to be more stuck at just the
Mm-hmm.
unfinished puzzle, which is the transformation, than it is um, for you to just, not have the puzzle be completed, or you to be waiting on somebody to come get you the pieces, or you buy a whole new puzzle. Like, it's a mess. So I
Right.
wanted to, that's
And
what it made me think about. I know I kind of went around, but that's what it made me think
no,
about
but
when you
that's
said that.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good because I think that that's still momentum.
Yes.
Because if you have a missing piece,
Preaching.
right? If you stay, it's easy for us to get stuck at trying to find the missing piece rather than to go, wait a minute, okay, so I know what it looks like, it's in this, like this, I can just create that thing or go buy another puzzle, instead of just constantly like looking for the missing piece, and now you're stuck. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is also momentum. I think we've been trained to believe that momentum is in how fast you're moving.
Mm.
It's not how it's not, if you see a train, you're thinking, oh, it's making, yeah, but if a train is going real slow, that's still momentum. It's still moving. Momentum is movement. So you don't have to go fast and you don't have to go slow. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, for example, with the missing piece, that's momentum. Like, you're still moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're creating a piece, whether you are, taking a class, like to add to your skill, taking something on LinkedIn, signing up for Burn the Rule Book, like all of those things, that's momentum. You're still moving forward and you're still adding to yourself and investing in yourself. And that's what's important.
I love that. We can't be married to the speed in which we do things, but having that discipline. I think
Yes.
discipline, Jamila talks about this a lot, discipline before even consistency. So being
Mm,
disciplined daily about filling in that missing piece, about getting the puzzle put back together, about taking the inventory, versus I got to get this done fast and I got to keep on,
right.
doing all the things that are going to actually cause my puzzle to fall, or my train to stop, or however you want to use that metaphor. So
Can I add one thing
yeah,
too? Because you just said something that made me think about it.
yes.
In this time where people are experiencing workforce reductions and they didn't really choose to transform or to pivot, or which, hey, even mindset, taking that as, hey, this is an opportunity, right? But there's a lot that go with that, and I get that on the wellness side. But even now, being intentional about your next steps, and not just because I noticed something on LinkedIn, is very easy to just be wanting to apply for everything because mindset, right? Either you're thinking from a scarcity mindset or you're afraid, and I get all of that. But as I said, signing up for things like Burn the Rule Book, which invests in you both personally and professionally, is momentum. Taking the time to do things like that, where you're listening to other people's experiences and also you're getting expert advice from people so that you can still move forward, but intentionally, and yes, with discipline. I love that. I don't think that we talk about discipline enough. I think that we talk about consistency a lot, and we throw out intentional. I know I use the word intentional a lot, but discipline is very, very important. And that determines whether or not you keep it going, because pivoting will challenge you and it will expose how you really think and what you feel. And so it's important to be disciplined. Oh, Candace, the sound went out. I don't know if you can hear me.
All right, I am back. I was muted. No, thank you for adding that tidbit in there, because I mean, I think it's 100% true. Every action that we take is actually momentum, and sometimes we're so hard on ourselves because we didn't have this high output every day.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at
Mm-hmm.
the picture of discipline with a little bit of like consistency, consistency is the showing up every day to do something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not always you going up, up a scale and gaining momentum. It's
Right.
about some days up, some days down. It's really about how do you respond to that, right? Um, but every step you take, to your point, is you just continuing to keep going. And just because you didn't produce up here and today you produce down here, to Kay's point, you are still building momentum. So I love that. And you definitely hit the nail on the head around why Burn the Rule Book is the
Mhm.
place to be, because number one, they get to hear you share more gems like that. And then number two, this is a place where you can come and get some tools and be in community to build momentum. Jamila commented, I am winning tonight because I learned how to get these comments on the screen. I had to just celebrate myself real quick. But Jamila
Yay.
commented, leverage what you know. Yes. And sometimes it's hard when you're
Yes.
sitting in a setting by yourself trying to figure out everything that you know that you've done. But we should be able, inside Burn the Rule Book, to jog your memory. We're going to be talking about
Mhm.
transferable skills. We're going to be talking about looking at some of your major accomplishments, some of your major challenges, to help you jog your memory on the skills that you know so you can leverage them to help you make
Mhm.
an exponential transformation. So, Kay, thank you so much for sharing that. I know we're wrapping up here in the next few minutes. And this next question I'm going to ask you, but I'm also going to put this out to the audience as well, because we know that Kay and I aren't able to speak with authority, with passion, with authenticity if we hadn't been through something. And so we've
Hmm.
had those points as well where we wanted to make a bold move, right? But we
Yeah.
wanted to switch careers. We wanted to, do the next thing, but something was holding us back. Kay, do you have an example of that where something that we're going to probably talk about at Burn the Rule Book was holding you back, and how it's helped you be able to now coach people on this thing based on your opportunities? And for the audience, if you feel free to put it in the chat or you jot it down for yourself. But I'm inviting you to share as well.
Yeah, the biggest thing that was holding me back from moving out of corporate America into entrepreneurship, which is what I wanted, was fear attached to finances.
Mm,
Like I just could not for a very long time move past that because the corporation I was working for, I didn't realize I had made my source.
mm,
And so my whole fear was, but if I leave this, then where does that leave me?
mm,
Right? So that's where my faith came in. So we added that faith part, right? Because that's why I said pivoting will make you, it will challenge you and expose how you really think and what you believe. And I'm going, okay, well, wait a minute, but they're not my source though. Number one. Number two, but number two, I would say, and not necessarily number two, they're not my source. And what it has done is it pushed me in the direction of learning how to be financially well. It wasn't the fact that I was losing something over here, is that I did not know how to manage it well. And so now that I'm in entrepreneurship, I've seen how that has shown up, which the pivots that I made this year in my business exposed and challenged how I think about money. So that was my fear. My fear was the financial piece. Number one, with it being, really not even recognizing that I thought that my job was my source, but I did now that I look back at it. And then now it's like, okay, so here's the lesson. The lesson is how to have a great relationship with money. Because whether I work for someone else or I stay an entrepreneur or whatever I do, you have to have a healthy relationship with money. And so that was my fear. That was the challenge. And I feel like I overcame that through experiences. I had to really hit my head hard a few times, and but I'm glad that I did, because now I'm at the point where I want to talk about it, and I want to have conversations, open conversations about money, because that's a real thing. Like we need to be having conversations about compensation. That's why I love that you guys have that in everything that you do. And something you said the other day that just stuck with me, which is, even at jobs, we this rule, so that's why we're talking about burning the rule book, right? There's been this rule that we can't talk about compensation, you can't talk about money. So we walk around here not talking about money when we should be talking about money. And so that was it for me. That was the thing that was just like holding me back. And now I'm free from that, and I'm getting free because I'm learning more, and I want to be financially well.
Mm.
And so I love that you guys talk about that, and I love that you bring that to the forefront. And I think we're gonna have more conversations about that for Burn the Rule book, and I look forward to it.
That was bars. I'm not going to re-preach. Actually, what I'm going to do is leave everybody hanging. We need to see you inside Burn the Rule Book Career Transformation Lab, because sounds like Kiosha's going to be talking about emotional relationships with money. I'm just saying that maybe it's my wish,
Yes.
but that's what I heard. She's the emotional wellness coach. She talked about healing that relationship with money in order to even make the transformation. Mic drop and my light just went off. So thank you, Kiosha, so much for joining us today. It was such a
Thank you,
pleasure to talk to
Candace.
you. And we look forward to seeing you inside Burn the World Book Career Transformation Lab. If you are ready to make a bold move, join us at the Career Transformation Lab. We're going to be teaching you how to pivot with purpose and
Mm,
precision. We don't want you to lose momentum. We want you to gain it. And Kay taught us tonight that as long as you keep going and you keep showing up, you're going to have momentum. So register now. Look at the comment in the event description and you can register. Use the code Kiosha to get 20% off on a night of Burn the Rule Book. But we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 6 p.m. sharp. Thanks again, Kiosha.
yes. Thank you, Candace.
Take care, everyone.